create that radius.
Will it still work at like any angle in that point? So like even if they're really close together?
Yeah. So you can see that the arrow still appears. Yeah. Great. So anchor points. So there's anchor point and their handles, and these are how you control Bezier curves. However, sometimes when you are constructing, sometimes you're not drawing things from scratch. So for instance, what if I want to connect these two circles? I want to kind of have like this connection between the two, but instead of just a simple, so instead of just a straight connection like this, I want it to be almost like a fluid connection. How do I begin to do that? I think this is where you start to apply your 3D modeling concepts to a software like Illustrator. So the first thing I'll do is I'll create some guidelines to help me. And it helps if they are horizontally aligned to each other. So I'll select the two and use the align tool to align both of them. You can see now that I have two circles. I'm going to create a layer. Put it behind this second layer, and I'm going to use this as my construction line layer. So let's draw a line.
How did you align them again?
Select the two, and you can either, an option might appear at the top over here, or you can just use the align panel. Yeah, I will go. Hopefully, I'll get to align, because that's very useful as well. Now, one trick in Illustrator that is very useful is to draw a line that is tangent to the circumference of the circle. And this is where you use what you know about circles, right? So at the quadrants, they are tangent to either the horizontal or the vertical, so I can start with that knowledge. So I'm going to draw this line, and this line is tangent to this circle. And this line will be tangent to that circle, right? But what if I want what if I want to create a tangency that is not at the quadrants but somewhere around the circle? This is where you use the properties of the circle that Illustrator has to help you with that. So I'm going to select this line. I'm going to choose a rotate tool, which is here, or shortcut R. And instead of rotating at this center point, can you see that cyan or that light blue dot? That's the center of rotation. If I were to do this, it will just rotate about that center. Instead of doing that, I'm going to select the center of the circle, and I'm going to rotate this line. So now can you see that this line is always going to be tangent to the circle? So I can create a tangent line to the circle that is kind of like at this angle, and then I can do the same for this. I'm going to rotate this line at the center of this circle and do it like this. So select the line, but instead of rotating it, if you use a rotate function, instead of rotating it at the center of the line, click on the center of the circle that you want it to rotate about instead. Yeah. Sometimes it's very difficult to do it in the preview mode of Illustrator. Right now we are in preview mode. So a very, very, very useful function is Command or Control Y. Control Y or Command Y, depending on which OS you're using, would switch to outline mode. Can you see that changed to outline? So preview, outline. Now what's the difference between preview and outline? Let's say my circle is a fill and I give it a transparency of like 50% and it's getting very complicated. My scene is getting very, very crowded. It's sometimes very difficult to select something that is hidden behind layers. That's where I'll switch to outline mode, and everything will just turn into outlines. And now I can select this line, even though it's behind the circle. Or that's how I can select, like, draw a window to select like these two things. Command Y. So Command Y is a very useful function when your scene or when your artboard is very cluttered and you find it very difficult to select certain objects. Command Y or Control Y will toggle between outline and preview mode to help you select things easier. Let me just undo that. Now, something else which I think you guys might not realize is that for transform, for any transformation functions like rotate or scale or translate, instead of clicking on at the center point and doing the transformation, what you can do is you can alternate click on the center point of that transformation. So right now my mouse is hovering over the center and it's coming with this smart like snapping smart guide option that tells me that I'm selecting the center. And I'm holding on to the alternate key or the option key if you're using a Mac. And I'm going to mouse click. This option would appear. And with this option I can specify that I'm going to rotate this line exactly 25 degrees. In fact, I want to rotate it negative 25 degrees. And when you turn on the preview, you can see that now it's rotating exactly negative 25 degrees. So if you think about what you know about SolidWorks, it's kind of similar right now. We are using very precise dimensions and values to control the way that we are drawing or transforming things in Illustrator. Especially if you're doing construction drawings in Illustrator, this will be very handy. Instead of just what I was showing you earlier, just using your mouse and looking at this grey number over here. It's very difficult to get that precise like 25 degrees if I'm just looking at that feedback. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this and say negative 25 and click OK. Now if you click copy, this might be useful. Copy would instead give you a copy of that object instead of just turning that object. So now I have both the horizontal line and the rotated line. Very quickly, I'm just going to do the same over here. Instead of rotating it negative 25, I'm going to rotate it 25 and I'm going to copy it. So now I get this. And I realized that I was not drawing in layer 3, I was drawing in layer 2. So I'm going to select all of these construction lines, open up my layers, look at this little red, you guys cannot see, okay, you can see it. This red square over there, I'm going to click it and drag it down into layer 3. So I'm bringing those objects down to layer 2. I'm going to put a lock on it. So now I cannot move it. There's no way that I can interfere with it now. It will stay there.
When you're drawing, do you suggest constantly moving the layers?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
It will just help manage your different steps.
And do you like go with that thing, that new layer, or is it like
I just created a new layer from here. Yeah. You can even create sub-layers within layers.
How did you lock the layer?
Click on the box over here. Right, over here. So you can see that now even if I try to select it, it wouldn't move. So it's helpful. I won't accidentally like shift it by a millimeter to the right or something. I'm just going to switch using it. So let me begin drawing a connection between these two circles. So starting with this intersection point, I'm going to draw the start of my Bezier, but I'm going to make sure that my handle snaps along this path. And I'm going to end by finding the intersection, which is over here. And so actually, there's no way that my handle can snap because I didn't extend the line that way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it this way in reverse. And then I'm just going to rotate it around and snap it along this. What you have right now is a perfect line or curve that connects this circle tangent to that circle. Right? And you can imagine why this would be useful if you want to draw a more fluid organic shape, but you want it to be very controlled. This is probably one way to do it. And I can just choose the reflect tool, which is in the same drop-down menu as the rotate. I'm going to reflect it about the center of this circle and reflect it horizontally and copy it. And now I get this shape. Right?
Can you show it one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Real quick and make it
Right.
real.
So just to make my life easier, I'm just going to unlock layer 3. I'm going to extend this line so that it goes out. So it's still tangent, but it's just longer right now. Same for this line. I'm going to extend it out. Lock it again. So let me repeat. Let's find the intersection point. It says intersect up there. Using the pen tool, I'm going to draw this handle, snap it along this path, come over here, find the intersection point, and snap it along that path. And you can see that now this bezier, this kind of curve is tangent to the two parts of the circle. And I can actually go in right now and extend this line or decrease this line, up to you. Maybe I want them to meet, I want the handles to meet at the intersection point over here, because at least there's some logic to this curve that I'm drawing. And then shortcut O for reflect. I'm going to reflect this about the center, copy it, and I get this shape. Very quickly, what you can do is, well, there are a few things you can do. One nifty function is the pathfinder. Pathfinder has this outline option. So if I click on this outline, it might break this shape into its components. Let me see. Okay, it didn't. So it broke that circle into its components, but not this circle. So I'm just going to cut. I'm going to cut this circle using the scissors tool. I'm going to cut it at where they intersect, and at the bottom where they intersect. Where are they intersecting? Right. I'm going to cut away this path. Select the two endpoints over here. Oh man, sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join this shape together. I'm going to join, so Control J or Command J joins a path together. This is a legacy anchor point. So I'm just going to select these two endpoints and join them together. This is starting to become a negative demonstration. Let me just join this side together, and I'm going to change it from stroke to fill. So you can see that now I have one shape which has this bridge between it, and because I have the layers, I have the construction lines inside. I can always go back and change the handles and change the weight of this. So for instance, I do not like how this is looking. I can go back, click on this handle, and change the weight. Change the weight of this handle along this path, even making it asymmetrical.
Because you mirrored it, does it change the other side?
It doesn't. You have to do it manually. Yeah, that's one good thing about SolidWorks. Like you can create dependencies such as symmetry, and it will mirror things for you. But Illustrator is a bit primitive in that sense. Yeah, that's pretty complex, right? How many of you followed what I was saying? Like, do you guys have any questions about this?
Can you make that curve one more time? Sorry.
Okay, let me move on. For those of you who still have questions, I think I can go through with it after class, but I just want to, the main point is not to show you exactly how to do this, but to just get you to keep in mind, like if you want things to be tangent, how do you go about doing it? Because there are many times where you will need things to be tangent when you're drawing shapes in Illustrator. I think that question. Join. Okay, let me illustrate this without this example over here. So it's going to bring this out of the picture. So if I draw a line, so I draw one line, and I'm going to draw another line, and they're not going to meet. What I can do is I can use a white arrow tool, select this anchor point and select this anchor point by holding on to Shift, or I can just draw a window to select both of them. And if I Control J or Command J, it will join these two paths together. If the points are coincident, such as this, right now they're still separate paths, but if they are like on the same spot, and I select this region over here and I do Ctrl J, now they become one unit. So joint is another very helpful function for you to connect paths. And I would actually recommend not designing a complicated shape in one single path. Like, think about how to break it down into different segments, and then use a join tool to join all of the different segments together once you're done.
Is there an unjoin tool?
Hmm?
Is there an unjoin tool? You want to separate that?
Yes, there's the scissors. So the cut, if you click on an anchor point, it will cut, and now it's two different paths. But I can also use the scissors tool to cut it anywhere along the path. And so now this is like two segments of the same path. Yeah. Good question. Mm-hmm.
When I attempt to use an eraser tool, it's weird. It like erases where I want, but then it outlines wherever the eraser is.
Eraser?
Yes.
I never use the eraser actually. Yeah. I actually never use the eraser because I think it's very imprecise, and I think that's what you're facing right now.
Clement, I think I know what he's talking about. That's when you erase it with a stroke. It'll remove
Right.
wherever the line was, but where the eraser's path like kind of encompasses,
Right.
it's going to leave lines there.
Okay.
So you can't erase while it's in the stroke, only filled.
I actually do not understand what you're saying. No, it's fine. But does that answer your question? Does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah.
I have a question in general.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to make rings, right? And I've got one curve. I want to make a wall, the same curve, same slope, but any recommended ways of doing it easily?
Mirror. If you mirror it,
Mirror.
if you mirror the slope, then it will ensure that it's the same gradient.
How do you mirror this?
So use the reflect tool up here. Okay, let me quickly go through because I'll get to that in a bit. So let me just carry on with whatever I was going to say about Bezier curves. So Bezier curves, we talked about anchor points, we talked about handles, we talked about tangency. Now let's talk about stroke options a little bit, which is kind of related but not exactly about Bezier curves. If you have a path and you go to your stroke options, there are a lot of things you can do to this simple path, right? The first thing that you can do is you can increase the size. So let me increase it to 10 point so that it's just a bit more obvious. From this, you can change the way that the caps look. So I can create a round cap, and you can see that creates a rounded cap. And if I make it really thick, if I make it like 30 points, you can see that the cap would just be this nice like pill-shaped end. And it also works on curves, right? So if I have a curve, you can see that it creates this very nice rounded cap. If you do not want, you can turn it off, or you can create a projecting cap which extends the offset to be the same offset as this perpendicular distance from the path. It will extend it outwards like that. So these are a few options. If you have pinches or kinks in your path, such as a path like that, and I select the round caps, I can select the joints to be round. You can see that this changes the elbow over here to be round as well. So this can be very helpful. If you want a softer look to your lines. Now the other thing which is very useful is the dashed line. To see the dashed line, I'm going to reduce the stroke thickness to make it easier to see. If you check it, you can see that now I have a dash line which is 12 point. I can change this to be 5 point instead. I can even create a pattern. So I can create a dash of 5 points, a gap of 10 points, and that will increase the gap. Now the reason why it looks like it's not 10 points in between is because of the cap. If I change the cap back to the butt cap, this is how it will look. So again, the cap plays, visually it would affect the way that the dash line looks. And if you're curious about what these options are, this is only obvious when you have a shape like, say, a square. So look at the way that the dash line is being drawn. It's not really considering the corners, but if I click on the second option, it will align the dashes to snap to the corners. So now it looks a bit more symmetrical. And if my dash is more consistent, let's say 12 points or larger, 12 points, it would even bend around the corners for me. So that can be helpful. Okay, let's remove the dashed line. Arrowheads are going to be very useful as well for you, especially if you're doing callouts or if you're doing some kind of schematic or drawing diagram. There are many, many, many different arrowheads that you can choose from, right? You can do like this arrowhead, which is, I do not know why you would use it, but it's there. So let's say we are a bit more sensible and we are using this instead. What you will notice about arrowheads is that when I increase the stroke thickness, it will increase the size of the arrowheads. Sometimes that might not be ideal. You might want a certain stroke thickness, but you do not want such a large arrowhead, or you want a bigger arrowhead, for instance. This is where you can use the scale function over here. I can change the start to be 50% size, and it would reduce the size of that arrowhead. Or I can make it, let's say you were both 100%. I could click on this constraint, and it would change the start and end at the same time, like together. I didn't select it, so let me just go ahead.
Show me again, like how to find the stroke.
It's either on the panel on the right, or if you go to your window, stroke. Yeah, it should be in there. So arrowheads are very useful. The other thing that's important to note about arrowheads is how are these arrowheads aligned? Are they aligned? Do the arrows end when the stroke ends, or do the arrows start only when the stroke ends? So if I click on this option, I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's a subtle difference between the two. Right? This option, the arrow is only starting when at the end of the stroke, and the second option ensures that the arrow ends at the end of the stroke. Any questions about this? Alright, so hopefully, you guys will make use of this instead of manually drawing that arrowhead at the end, which I think some of you were doing. Now the last thing, which is kind of a hidden function, is this, well, it's not a hidden function, but it's a kind of obscure. Width is a width too. You do not always have to have the same stroke width throughout the path. You can actually use the width too, which is Shift W, or this button over here. You can use this to change the profile of the stroke along its path. Something like that, for instance. Okay. So if you look at this button over here, Shift W, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to select let's select the start. I can increase the size of the stroke at the start and maybe taper it like this. And I get this profile. This profile will stick with the line even when I increase or decrease the stroke thickness. So let's say I decrease it to 20. It would decrease the width, but it will keep the overall proportions of this profile along the line. Now this might look a bit lame to do this on a straight line, but it can be very, very helpful if you're doing it on, for instance, if you're doing it on a curved line, right? Something like this. Shift W, I can increase this and decrease this. And it works when I change a cap as well of the stroke. So now I have this tadpole looking shape, or moustache, like half a moustache maybe. Like if I reflect this, I can do like very quickly. And I've got a face right here. And I mean, these are all lines. They're not even anything like, they're not any fancy shapes or complicated like paths that I'm drawing and joining to create the shapes. They're just lines. The best thing about lines is that it's so easy to change them. Right? So, I think this is something which a lot of people don't realize about Illustrator. Now, but what if I want this to become a shape? So I'm done with this being a line, but I want the outline of the shape so that I can apply like gradients or patterns to it. What you want to do is go into the object and expand appearance. And you can, okay, let me just backtrack. I'm not sure if you caught that, but look at this line. Can you see that it is there's just a spine that's defining it? And if I go to outline mode, the outline just shows the path, right? Now let me go to preview. I'm going to select this path. I'm going to go to object and expand appearance. Now, instead of being that straight spine, it becomes a shape. If I go into outline, you can see that it becomes the entire shape. And sometimes that's desirable. Like, for example, if you're going to laser cut this, you need the outline instead of just a line. If you're going to apply a gradient to it, sometimes it's just more helpful if it's a outline, if it's a shape that has a boundary instead of just a spine. Does it make sense to you guys? And many things can be expanded as well. Let me just, since I'm on this subject, if I have a dashed line like this, I can also expand it. Wait, that is, alright, so I expanded it once, I need to ungroup it, I think, and I need now select the middle and I expand the stroke. You can see that now the stroke becomes individual rectangles, right? Instead of a dashed line, they are now individual rectangles. So that might be one quick way to draw a lot of rectangles in a straight line.
Can you say again how you do that?
Okay, let me just repeat from scratch. I'm drawing a line, and let's say it is 20 points, and I'm creating a dashed line, and making the dash 20 points and making the gap 20 points. So this line has a stroke width of 20, and the dash is 20, and the gap is 20, so it makes sense that these are all squares, right? Now I'll go in, and I'll go and expand the stroke, not the fill. And when I do this, this line, this dashed line, becomes the individual squares that make it up. And if I ungroup it, I'll just keep ungrouping it, you can see that I can select the individual, okay, release a compound path, you know, they're actually individual squares instead of a part of a line. Right, so that's expand, stroke width. You can also save, sorry, let me just finish this. You can save this profile by clicking on this button over here. So if you select this, this line and you click on the top over here, and you add this profile, give it a name, okay. Now I can apply that same profile to something else that I draw. Like if I draw this line, I can go apply the tadpole profile. And you cannot see it because it's just 1 point, but if I increase the size to like 100 points, you can see it applies the same profile. So you can duplicate the same profile and apply it to different shapes or lines. Add it to the profile up here. So let me just consolidate everything that I've covered so far. I'm going to use the white arrow, select this anchor point, and pull this white circle to create like a radius. You can see that the profile also follows that. Similarly, I'm going to select this anchor point and I'm going to pull this, and you can see that, you know, as long as it remains as a line and it's applied as a profile instead of a shape, I can edit things very easily. But the moment I go and expand the appearance, now it's an outline, right? It's going to be very difficult to edit all those points that they were expanded into. Alright, so hopefully you guys are a bit more aware of the capabilities of Illustrator with regard to these different tools. Any questions?
Not going off of what we just did, but how do you crop a photo in Illustrator?
You cannot crop a photo, you can only mask it using a clipping mask. Yeah. Well, it looks like we only have time for this one topic. Okay, last thing that I'm going to do is live paint. Have any of you used the live paint function before? Yeah, it's really, really useful. So instead of drawing shapes, sometimes it's just more helpful to build things from lines or curves and then use a live paint function to fill out the shapes. So let's say I want a shape that looks something like a 4-pointed star, for instance. I'm just going to draw something that looks like this. Let's say what I'm really interested in is this region in the middle. One way to do it is to select it all and create a live paint object. So go to Object, Live Paint, and Make. You'll see that the bounding box becomes this, it changes, the appearance changes a little bit. The control points has like an asterisk in the middle. If you use a live paint bucket, which is, see, I never use the graphical user interface. I just use keyboard shortcuts. The shortcut is K. I'm trying to find it. Okay, over here. So if you go and select this drop-down menu and you click on the live paint bucket, you can actually use this live paint bucket, select the color, say I want color red, and now I can paint this section in the middle red. Right, and this is one very quick way of building shapes. And if I want to isolate this shape, what I can do now is I can go to Object, again, expand it, and expand the object, not the fill and the stroke. Click OK, and now I can just take this shape out. Right, and that's how you can build a fairly complex shape very quickly just using lines. Now the live paint bucket is useful not just for building like shapes, an individual shape. If you have like a composition of many different lines and intersections, let's say I have something that looks like that, like a Venn diagram, right, or an Euler diagram. And I create a live paint object out of this. Now I can go in and it recognizes the different parts. So I can do red over here, green over here, and blue over here, and blue and green over here, and red and green over here. I can do this, and I can even remove the stroke, so it's just that live paint object. Or I can go and change the color of the stroke. Again, this is great because now I can just go in and change like colors. But if let's say now I'm done with this live paint object, I want to break it up into its individual shapes. I can go to Object, expand the object, ungroup it. right, and break it up.
Do they have to be grouped in the first place to use the live paint?
You don't have to. You just select all the lines, and then when you create the live paint object, it will automatically group them together. Yeah.
So did you just right click or?
Yes, I right clicked on group, but actually I was secretly just using the keyboard shortcut over here. So group is Control or Command G, ungroup is Command or Control Shift G. And sometimes I just span it because I have no idea how many times Illustrator groups something for me. So I just Control Shift G G G G G G G G, and it will just ungroup everything. If you haven't realized, like many times when you start going deeper and deeper into your project in Illustrator, it will just keep grouping and nesting your objects in one group into another group into another group, and so you have to ungroup it many times to get it out of the group. Someone had a question. Command G to group, Command Shift G to ungroup. Yeah.
And you, so there's a part, did you just expand it again?
Yeah, I went to expand, and there were three options. I could expand the object, expand the fill, or expand the stroke. I expanded just the object. So the live pane is like an object. Expanding it will break it up into its shapes. That's what it means. Okay, so I think you guys probably have a much better understanding of just this Bezier curve function. You can see how something like this will come in very useful, especially if you're doing like your infographics or your information visualization, and you have a grid, and you want to color this grid, but instead of like selecting a square and changing the fill and the stroke, you can just use a live paint bucket to like just fill up that grid with different colors, for instance. Yeah, so hopefully you guys will find it useful as you are developing the designs for your app. As we move along this semester, I would try to find pockets of times like this to talk about the different tools as well. So like Pathfinder and Blend. So let me just show you Blend, and I'm not going to talk more about it because I think you guys can explore. But Illustrator actually has a function to do some, what's the word for it? Some cool stuff. So let's say I have a line like this, and I have another line, and you cannot see it because there's no stroke. And I have another line that looks like maybe something like this. And this line is very thin, and it has the color green. I'm going to select this too, go to Object, Blend, Make, and it would blend the two shapes together and the appearances as well. Within Blend, I can go to Blend Options, and instead of selecting smooth color, I can select specific steps. And I say I want to blend this in 10 steps. I'm going to do something like that. This can be very, very useful for creating patterns and non-linear transformations between two things. Again, I can select the blend, go to Object, Expand Object, and now they become individual lines instead of that blend. But as long as it stays within the blend, I can do things like change this, and it will blend accordingly. Or even change the color, and it will change the way that things blend. So this is something which is pretty obscure, but I use it quite often. Especially in making patterns or in making like user interfaces, for instance. Right. Doesn't this look a bit 3D? Like it feels like it's like a architecture surface. All right. Any questions?
When you expand, does it automatically ungroup?
No.
So if you ungroup that and move one, does it still move everything? Or?
Right now I cannot ungroup it because it's in the blend.
Okay.
Yeah. But I can like add points to it, for instance, and maybe I want to. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, I think we're done for today with regard to Illustrator.